Adventure Australia, back with another adventure. Today we're on the Bibbulmun track and we're going for an overnight solo camping adventure. About 4 in the afternoon right now. We're gonna run until it gets dark and then camp wherever we're at. We'll see how far we go. We've got a delicious dinner planned, but for now, time to enjoy this run. So we started at the northern terminus of the Bibbulmun track, which begins in Bibbulmun National Park. Now I've done this first 10 kilometers of the track probably about 15 times, so I'm pretty familiar with it. And every single time I've been out here on this track, I've had a very memorable and fun experience. I'm not typically superstitious, but one tradition that I have that I've done every single time is cross this giant log that's up here. I don't know if the two things are related, but I always have a good time on this track and I've always crossed this log. So let's do it again. Now we're yet to fall on this log and we're also yet to have a bad adventure. So let's see if we can keep the streak alive. And there we go. Looks like we're gonna have another successful adventure. It's quite the rock. Now I'm just hiking up Kangaroo Hill. It's called Kangaroo Hill because more often than not, when I get to the top or halfway up, there's kangaroos jumping around. So let's see if we can spot any this time. Where did you go? Not even halfway up, and there definitely was a kangaroo. Didn't get a good glimpse at him. He was out of here pretty quickly. Where there's one kangaroo, he usually has some friends with him as well, so see if we can see those guys. All right, we're about 6 kilometers in. That first bit of the track was pretty technical, lots of ups and downs, lots of rough terrain. As you can see now, we're on a lot smoother path. We've got about an hour and a half until the sun sets, so we're just gonna keep hiking and see how much ground we can cover. I wanna start setting up camp right at about 7 o'clock because once the sun goes down, the mosquitoes are gonna come out like crazy. And unfortunately, I just packed a small bag with me with only the essentials. I didn't pack any long sleeve shirts or pants, so I'm gonna have to get into my hammock right away to avoid the mosquitoes. Just really started getting into the flow of this hike. The first bit was pretty tough going, but now I'm feeling light on my feet. The temperature is perfect. Got a nice breeze cooling me off, moving quick. Endorphins are flowing. Just feeling great right now. Hey buddy. So effortless when those guys are bouncing around. Wish I could move like that. Now I'm just walking through the camel farm on the Bibbulmun track here, and it's no longer a camel farm actually. Fortunately, the owner passed away last year, but there's still a lot of other animals. Buddy? How are you? Beautiful looking ducks. Hey, you're a crazy little guy, huh? And the star of the show. Miss Ernie the emu. So that was the camel farm I just walked through. Unfortunately, there's no more camels. However, there's still lots of animals to see. And of course, the emu is always really cool to see up close. All right, it's 7 o'clock. The sun's just starting to go down. Stepped off the track and I'm looking for a place to set up the hammock. Now I'm just looking for 2 sturdy trees. I like the looks of this one, even though it's a little bit burnt on the bottom. Still looks really sturdy. And this one over here. It's very clear in between them. And also, there's no big dead trees around this area. So if we get a bunch of wind tonight, we won't have to worry about any widowmakers, any giant trees falling on us in the middle of the night. A little gecko on this stump. Hey, buddy. Now that is a very cool gecko. Hey, buddy. I've never seen one like that before. His colors are so cool. How he's adapted to camouflage and all the burnt trees here. Almost looks like he's got little pieces of white ash on him. This is also a great place to camp because our little gecko's home is going to make a great camp table. We'll let him go here. Come on, buddy. Go back to your home. Oh. Suicide jump. We got a jumper. See how long he sticks around for. There's a mosquito trying to bite him. Hey, get... Now we really didn't pack much here. We've got about 2 liters of water, sleeping bag, a hammock, a toque to keep our head warm tonight, and a bag of food. Always very important to line your hiking backpack with a garbage bag, because it's happened to me before when I've been hiking that my back is sweat, and I've sweat through my backpack and actually soaked my sleeping bag. Very important to put that waterproof layer in your bag. Even if you don't feel like you're sweating that much, you'd be surprised how much can build up. Alright, so step 1 is complete. We have our bed all set up, so time for step 2. Cheers. Well deserved. So a couple things about sleeping in a hammock. When you're setting up the hammock, you want a nice bow in it like this. So you almost want it to look like a smiley face. What this will do is it's going to allow you to kind of sleep diagonally across the sleeping bag, and that'll let you lay flat rather than having your whole body bowed. So even though the hammock is in a bow shape, that slack allows you to sleep diagonally. Whereas if you pulled it really tight, it kind of forces your shoulders in together. And by the end of the night, it's really uncomfortable. Another thing too to note is that if you're laying in a hammock, there's a lot of pressure on your back, and it basically flattens all the insulation that you would normally have in a sleeping bag. So for that reason, it's a really good idea to bring a sleeping mat with you as well. And then you can just lay that sleeping mat inside your sleeping bag or underneath your sleeping bag, and it'll give you that little bit more insulation that'll just keep you like 10 times warmer. And one last thing about the sleeping bag, as soon as you get to camp, you want to open this thing up and just let it loft up. Because when it's stuffed inside of a compression bag, all the insulation gets compressed and it really doesn't heat you up that much. So you have to give it time to kind of loft up and gain that insulation back. Before I get dinner started, I'm going to break into these pineapple lumps, some of the best hiking snacks you can possibly have. So tonight, our dinner is going to be baked brie. So the way we're going to make that tonight, we're going to start with this apple. We'll chop this up into little pieces and then add it to our frying pan. We're going to put it in the frying pan with some of this butter and cinnamon that we've prepared. Then we're going to take that mixture and put it on top of the brie. Also on top of the brie, we're going to take these walnuts, crush them up and add them in there. And then we're going to cover all that up in the frying pan and leave it there until it melts. Lots of hiking today, so we've got to make sure we rehydrate and get some electrolytes in us. All right, dinner is ready. Let's get into this. Oof. That is absolutely delicious. I'm going to dig into this and then jump in that hammock because the mosquitoes are tearing my legs apart right now. All right, we got the last of our food hung up in this tree. Got everything all packed up. Time to go to bed. All right, quick mosquito check. Looks like we're good. So we hiked for about 12 kilometers today. Took us about 2 hours to get here. It's only about 8 o'clock now, but it's pitch black outside. Don't really have anywhere to sit down besides the ground, so it's way better to be laying in the hammock away from the mosquitoes. Gonna relax for a bit, enjoy my dessert, and then get an early night. It's about 5:30 in the morning. Had a great sleep last night. Wasn't too cold, and the sleeping bag was super comfortable. Gonna get some coffee going and then hit the road. Just getting back on the track here, and we have some company already. couple wallabies bouncing around. It's 6 a.m. so we got moving right on time. The sun's just starting to come into the valley down here. That coffee was extra strong this morning and it's got me ready to hike. It was cool to see those wallabies because the sound of them hopping around is actually what woke me up this morning. If you ever need some creativity, get all geeked up on coffee and go for a run or walk or hike early in the morning. The perfect recipe for new ideas. Another successful adventure, thanks to the magical log. Last big climb of the hike, and then we're back. So I'm just coming out of the park now, getting back to the car. It's right at 8 in the morning, so I only spent about 14 hours. I hiked about 25 kilometers and did an overnight camp. Just shows you don't need a ton of time and you don't need a ton of gear. I basically packed 2 things plus my food, had my sleeping bag and my hammock, and then food for the night. So super easy trip, very simple, and great way to get out, disconnect from your regular life for a little bit, and just get back into nature. Another great adventure. I can basically do this any day of the week, so this will definitely be something I do again. Make sure you tune in next time for another adventure.
Breakfast.